Everything that's good for you tastes awful, we were just about to say, or most things. But we're talking about low-fat foods, and there's a report which says that they contain a similar number of calories to the standard versions. Let me give you examples of this, because the consumer watchdog Which found that 60% of us are eating what we believe are low-fat and light foods, thinking that is the healthiest option. But when you go into details, McVitie's chocolate digestive biscuits, a personal favourite of mine, it has to say, standard 85 calories. What is that, a packet or a biscuit? Is that? That'll be a
that'd be a biscuit.
That'd be a biscuit. That has to be biscuit, yeah. Compared to 77 in the light version. That's not a lot of difference, it has to be said. If we go to low-fat yogurt, the Tesco brand contains 130 calories. That would be more than the standard Activia version, which has just 123. How does that work out? And the labels can be very confusing as well. Products classed as light and reduced fat have to contain 30% less fat than standard, but only 16% of us are aware of this. Well, here to try and explain all of that with me is Nicole Berberian, who is a nutritionist. Where do we begin there? I mean, it is very, very confusing, really, isn't it?
The top line on this is you have to look at each product. I'm afraid you're going to have to start looking at the labels, which means your eyesight needs to be a little bit better than mine was when I had to look at this small print here. But you need to look per 100 grams, and that's the only way you can compare.
I can't do that. I didn't pass mathematics at school. Why don't they just say what is in the pot that you're buying, as opposed to having to do the calculation?
Yeah, they do say what's in the pot, but that's where it gets confusing, because you could have two different products and one's actually got more in it. One could be double the portion size of another one. So overall, you're going to get more calories, even though if you compared them per 100 grams, one would actually be the lighter version.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I just think the product that you buy, it should be labelled as to what is in that product.
Some supermarkets are actually quite good, because some of them say this is X amount of your daily allowance, which I think helps. It simplifies it, doesn't it? It's basically saying if you eat this, then you're only allowed a certain amount for the rest of the day.
Yes, and that does help. But I mean, we've got some products here that we've been looking at, and we mentioned the digestive biscuit. Now, first of all, you need to look at how much of this are you going to be eating, and that's
probably
the bottom
all of
line.
it. Most of it, it has to be said.
If you're eating all of it, that's where those small differences add up.
Yeah.
But, Eamon, we don't want you to be eating lots of these
packets of biscuits. I know, but it just calls me, it sort of beckons me, and you just can't really stop.
But just remember, this is a treat food, which means that you're supposed to be having maybe one biscuit, maybe two.
Yeah.
And absolutely, as the report was saying, 8 calories difference between the light and the standard. It doesn't make a difference, and I would say this one is down to which one you like.
I understand I am to blame for that, but what I don't like, what's not fair, is when I think I'm doing the right thing, and I think I'm buying the low or the light version or whatever, and this is supposed to be good for me, and then my wife grabs it out of my hand and says, look what else is in that.
Right. Now, sometimes you might be doing a really good thing by getting the light version. So we've got a cheese here, which is a lighter cheese. If you look at I would look at the ingredients of that, maybe you wouldn't, but when I look at it per 100 grams, I can see that the lighter version does have about 40% less fat, and in place of that fat, and this is the critical thing, it's been replaced by protein and calcium, two things that I'm very happy for people to have more of.
So that's a good thing. Could I ask you a question about the word diet, for instance? I think I'm doing a good thing by having a diet drink, but then people tell me it's full of substitute rubbish that actually screws up your body, makes you crave sugar even more. It has no difference. What is your view on diet drinks?
Diet drinks, again, they have a place in depending on what you're using them for. If somebody's having a very high intake of sugary, high-calorie drinks and they need to lose weight, just switching those drinks for the low sugar, for them, is going to make a big difference.
Really?
Yes.
Do you not fool? Somebody told me that your body's just fooled into thinking that it's still getting sugar, therefore you don't lose weight.
Well, Nigella Lawson's a big advocate of that. She always says actually eating full fat food is actually better for your body, obviously in moderation, but rather than using all the diet products and the lesser fat versions that are replaced with other things, it's actually better for your body to digest the more natural foods that may be fattier.
The bottom line is to get everything in balance. If you get everything just in balance, you'll be eating some high-fat foods, some treat foods, and all the healthy vegetables and fruits, which balance the whole thing out, and then it all comes into place.
Yeah, people are worried about aspartame. I'm just looking at the tweets that are coming in now. aspartame, is that what it's called? What is it called?
The
Forgive me.
artificial sweeteners.
It's a big word and I haven't got my glasses on.
Yeah.
Do you want to borrow mine?
Yeah, right.
The artificial sweeteners have been fully tested. In our country here, we have excellent controls, and they are all within health safe limits. So we don't have anything to worry about with the levels that we are consuming. Absolutely high intakes which go above the tested levels, yes, but the levels that are in these foods, we're still within safe levels.
So you substitute calories, but people are worried, like Sharon Humphreys here, but are we not just getting a lot of chemicals instead?
Not necessarily. So, for example, when you're looking at the low-fat cheeses, they have actually reduced the fat and replaced it. What's come up is the protein and the calcium factor. So sometimes it's not as bad as you think and possibly beneficial.
In short, we think we're doing a good thing. It is quite confusing. Why can't it be more simple? Should there not be a bigger responsibility on the Food Standards Agency or the government to actually make these things much more simplistic?
Well, I think the most important thing is to get the labels right on the front where everybody can see them. If you have to start hunting and doing a lot of maths, it's too complicated. People don't have time. Getting it right on the front, nice and clear, how many calories are in there, what are you getting in a portion, that's really all you want to see.
You know, real food, maybe 3 solid meals a day and no snacking. Snacking's a phenomenon of modern day life, though, isn't it?
It is, and we do really want people to have those regular meals. Then you don't snack as much. When you're full, you've eaten a good meal, you're going to be done for the next few hours.
Well, you're going to have to take those biscuits away with you then, because otherwise we'll polish them off, won't we?
It's getting to that time of the day. Maybe we'll bring them into the production office. Thank you very much indeed. Nice talking to you.
You're welcome.
Here's Chris, the epitome of fitness and health.
Yeah, still